And just like that, we are back. Welcome to the Morning Mix. If you're just joining the party, welcome back to those of you that were with us for the sports news as well. One Blood with Warakata, 2018 Song of the Year. As ek nie verkeerd is.
Sit reg asseblief. Ja.
Goeiemorgen.
Morning.
How are we this morning?
Hyped.
Is it?
Yes.
I would ask to see your fingers just to confirm
No.
that
You don't even
everybody
have
was
to. Us,
voting.
We know our democratic rights.
But unfortunately, we're not talking elections at all today. We've got some other pressing issues that we want to discuss. We're not even talking about rotting fish or anything like that.
The weather, we're going to discuss the weather.
There's some rain.
It's a rain year, yeah.
Some good rains coming.
Yeah, some good rains coming. And then, and also very sad, I hear malnutrition in the... Malnutrition has been reported.
I'm trying to keep doing this with a straight face, guys. Right?
Yeah, no, guys, we're just joking. Clearly, we know the topic of the day.
That is nie a way. There's no getting around it. Of course, it is the day after elections, which means we have to dive into it. Maria, kom ons begin met jou. Where did you vote?
I voted at Gymnasium.
Was it? How was the experience?
It went well. We stood in the queue. I'm always prepared. You know, I come with a camping chair. I come with snacks. Gotta bring your water. And you gotta bring company. Company is in other voters that are your friends, registered voters. So I was in good company. We stayed. I was there with Katrina Basson. She works here at Trasco as well. We were in the queue for just, I think, a little over 2 hours. But, yeah, I mean, given the number of people there, I think I got to the front of the queue at exactly 9 o'clock.
In the morning?
No.
Oh, at night.
No, I didn't go because of the sun. I wasn't going to go vote in the sun. So, yeah, but we made it. We went, we voted. I think my only criticism, everything went well. My only criticism is they were not, the officials were not clear in telling you the first booth is presidential and the second booth is National Assembly.
Yeah.
That was my criticism, because I think that should have been made clear. Because even when I went in there, I was like, is it no national? I just assumed it's national because they obviously put the party names next to the candidates.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody should have been told, like, booth 1, presidential.
Yeah.
Booth 2, National Assembly.
You're right.
Yeah.
And that was never said. I didn't see anybody being told that. And that for me is, I think, my only problem.
It was written on a piece of paper with a Koki pen.
Hierso.
Met a Koki pen.
And Maria,
Fascinating.
I only realized that when I got to the second booth.
Me as well. In the first one, I thought I was voting National Assembly.
Because...
I really did. I can
No, wait a
quite
minute.
myself.
Wait a minute. Hey, wacht nou eerst, Bikkie. Now you're confusing me. Okay, the first one...
Was presidential.
Yeah, the first one was presidential.
Oh, Koro. I think...
You did what I did.
What?
You know?
Who did you vote for?
I think with us at Elisenheim, because when I got to the second booth, it said presidential.
Oh, all right. You see, this is why sometimes it has to be clear, because if it's the other way around, and you said it can be the other way around. I thought the first one, I was convinced the first one was National Assembly. And because I saw the party names, I'm like, there's party names. It's obviously presidential. I mean National Assembly. Vote me. Preferred party. I can't be the tweede. Nobody must not the president vote.
Yeah.
President. I check. My dear's election.
But Maria...
So, like, my presidential ended up being my National Assembly. And I like to separate it.
But Maria, there were unconfirmed reports about you yesterday. There were reports that came to our office that you were pregnant yesterday.
I was tempted, bruh. After I saw those cues, I was like, I either need to go borrow somebody's baby, or ek moet 'n emmer hier insit, or I must just go get my media card. Because with your media card, you were allowed to...
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, because we're working. So they allow you to kind of go to the front, so you do in the queue, and then so that you can go about your duties. So I was like, I've got 3 options. Katrina's baby, MR pregnancy, or media card. But yeah, I thought I'll just wait.
I wanted to take my 92-year-old grandmother along, but
That's only how werk het.
so nie gewerk.
But I saw a lot of people bringing grannies. I even thought of becoming disabled. But then I thought...
Okay, now that would just be wrong.
But I thought people at gymnasium, it's my area.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to recognize me. Going to be
Wheelchair.
I was going to go with a crutch.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's okay. We managed. We stood in our
Yeah, I
case.
saw a bunch of people who, do not have the mark this morning, complaining about the queues were too long and they didn't have, they ended up going back home, which is ridiculous to me because
It
we
is
all had to
ridiculous.
stand in those queues.
It is ridiculous. I'm judging anybody that's an adult, that's a Namibian, an adult that does not have a mark on their thumb. I am judging you.
Yeah.
I am judging you.
Yes.
Because there is absolutely no reason for you to have not registered, for you to have not voted. And the excuse about people leaving because the queues are too long,
No,
that's nonsense.
man.
There are people that said even up to 5 hours. You
Exactly.
Understanding.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Nia Lisa, I'm jealous.
Maria, I got to the polls at 10:30.
Yeah.
I left there just before 5.
Yeah, no, yeah, there are people that
Yeah.
legit.
Yes.
So you have no excuse.
But like what you say, I did the same thing, Maria. When I left home, I took my camping chair, my umbrella.
Sunscreen, alles.
Nee, ek het die sunscreen gevat nie. I was You can see the difference. You see the difference here.
I see, yeah.
I took my cool box, and it's really none of your business what
What
was
was
in my
inside.
cool box. Okay. All I know, there was a packet of Doritos and peanuts inside. Nothing. I will not declare anything else. But it was also nice to spend some time with people that I haven't seen in a long
Yeah.
time in the queue. And
Maar
En
die boere
ja.
het uitgekom, jong.
die
Vol
boere het gestem. Die boere, you asked them. So, Jan, ek sien jy stem ook. Ja, nee, Neville, ek is gatvol. Ek sê, gatvol wat? Nee.
It's amazing how many
Is nou
times
klaar.
I heard the word change yesterday. It was just mind-boggling. How everybody is like, nah, vote for change, no change. Like it's moeg and we're tired and so
Right.
I definitely can't wait for the ECN to
Yeah,
to
actually,
start releasing results.
they have started releasing results. Do you want me to share some of those?
Before we get to that, like you know what, the one thing that really caught my attention when I walked in, right, is how they were using this boxes that they cut up with a box cutter or scissor or whatever for our national elections, guys. Really?
Equipment is duur.
Nee, ons budget for die goede van 2014 af. Boxes, even like with the booths that are not clearly marked,
Yeah.
that have stuff written in Medakoki pen, basically. Presidential. I'm not even sure if presidential was spelled correctly. But yeah, presidential election and National Assembly election. It just seemed like, we're voting for a high school SRC president or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the setup was not. But other than that, for me, things went pretty well. Where I voted, there was
Waar was Yuka geweest?
in Kommersdal.
Kom maar staan. Okay.
Very community hall. I remember the lady who was sitting like who take down your voter registration number before that first booth.
Hou op.
Okay.
Ja,
Go-
nee, los die story.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, I think you guys are going. People want to hear results. I don't know why you are telling us your long stories of Kommersdal. People want
Results are only going to start getting interesting later in the day.
Yeah,
than from
but-
tomorrow.
but
But
let
let's
us
get to
share.
what is out there
Yes.
already.
On the presidential. Okay, by the way, all this information is accessible to everybody on elections.na. So on your phone, on your whatever, if you want to keep tabs, go to elections.na. The results posted so far are for the Kavango West, Erongo region, and Karas. For the presidential in those, obviously, well, I don't know obviously what, President Hage Geingob is leading, followed by...
Leading by how much?
I'll get to that now. Followed by independent candidate Dr. Itula, and then Swart Boy Bernardes in third place, and seems Venani is the biggest loser today. or in those three regions.
Sorry, Ned, I just want to let everybody know, okay? I made a bet with Maria.
No, let me finish, please. Wag, ons sal daar kom. Ons sal daar kom. The support for for the presidential, I'm talking about presidential elections. The president Hage Geingob is leading by 52.76%. The independent candidate, which translates to 13,695 votes. The independent candidate, Dr. Itula, has 5,004 votes, and that translates to 19.28%. Swartboy, 2,975 votes, which translates to 11.46%. And Venani McHenry is 1,812 votes, which translates to 6.98% votes. So, but the interesting thing with all of this is, even though the president is leading, Dr. Hage Geingob is leading, there's actually a drop in his support base. So it's clearly indicated that it has dropped from the last elections, where he was at 92.49% in these three regions. He was on 92. He's currently on 52.
Oh, like the the results that you are giving are a combination of the three regions.
Just those three regions. Okay. But prior to those regions,
they don't have them like individually, the results from each region.
Well, like I said, they're doing that. What they do is they if you go to this, either the app or the website, so they have the National Assembly votes, and then they have the presidential, and then they'll highlight for which regions. Unfortunately, the way it's set up right now, I'm not able to dissect region for region of those that were. The only one that we're able to dissect is for, which was posted earlier, was for the Karas region, where LPM was clearly leading. Well, LPM, I mean Swartboy in this case. Bernardo Swartboy, when it was just the Karas region, he had 2,473 votes, which is 40.31%. President Hage Geingob had 2,079, which was 33.89%. And then in third place was independent candidate Dr. Itula Penduleni, who had 1,108 votes, and that was 18.06%. So just that Karas region itself, Bernardo Swartboy was leading, clearly leading by at least 40%. Venani came in fourth place, which is, I think, shocking for me, because I would have at least thought he would come in second. Because the South, I mean, I thought like that's PDM and LPM that were competing for that ground. But Venani came in, he was on 4.69%, which is just 288 votes. 288 votes compared to Swartboy's 2,473 votes. So this is what we're seeing so far. And just quickly before we go to Neville, because he's got a lot to get off his chest, on the National Assembly votes, they counted the Karas, Hardap, and the Rongo region. So I don't really know why they're not doing it simultaneously, but anyway, this is what's on the app. And they, this is for the National Assembly. SWAPO clearly in the lead with 47.93% support. But again, this is a decline. It's a drop. Because in the 2014 they had 85.11.
It's half.
And in the 2009 they had 78.65. So it's basically half. And then again in second place it's actually LPM with 23.43%. This is obviously not counting because LPM didn't compete in the previous election. So there's no basically numbers. Yes. And then PDM, which we know was the former DTA, so I would at least think they would just take DTA's results, but they're not. They did it then, I think, with a new branding and new party name and whatever. They didn't take previous election numbers, but they are in third place with 18.16%. So we're looking at least, roughly this means at least one seat for PDM. So far, at least 2 seats for LPM and at least 4 seats for SWAPO. But that's what we're looking at. Those are the numbers so far. I've been looking by the hour. Nothing. I mean, this was posted by around 7 o'clock, by the way. Since then, nothing.
I've got a comment here from Thomas Nekongo who's saying, Maria, you can actually go to each region's results by clicking on a specific region on the map.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
All right, that'll be interesting.
Anita Dave saying corruption.
Yeah.
Big Ben, good morning, welcome to the show. Robert Dietrich, hy sê, Moro, ek was wragtig die enigste lani wat gister in Ondangwa Trade Fair se ry gestaan het. Wag maar vir Wambuland. Die people gaan dans as die results inkom.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. I mean, whatever you think of the results right now, that are out right now, you have to consider, of course, the big hitters, like the Omusati and the Hangwena regions.
Yeah.
And of course, Komas and Oshoganchupa, the more populated areas, the results are not in yet.
Well, based on what we've seen, because NBC has, because of, like I said, they've got so many people on the ground, they're able to like post the results that are posted on the polling station. And what we've seen is obviously in Ohangwena, like my fellow Kwanyamas, they are loyal to the core. So like in the Ohangwena region, clearly, like Hage Geingob is leading. In the Musati, which is like a strong SWAPO support base, has been for years. Again, there, Hage Geingob is clearly leading. Oshana, interestingly, we're seeing actually that Itsula is leading.
In Oshana region.
Oshana region. No surprise there. I mean, it's I made that prediction early on. And then, interestingly, Oshikoto, it seems to be swinging both ways. Like you see some Oshikoto polling station results, and they are in favor of Fetula. You look at others, they're in favor of Hage. And bro.
Nee, ons is saam.
What is the LPTV?
Ons is saam.
Anyway.
Girlfriend, ons vandag ons is saam.
Anyway, so Erongo I thought was going to be Itula. I need to check that. I actually thought it was going to be Itula based on what we've seen before, but after they counted the Erongo region and we saw Hage clearly leading, I'm not so sure anymore. I will check. But I think the one that everybody's going to be focusing on is the Komas region, which is the single largest voting bloc. And the results here in the Komas region have been very interesting. I must say. Like so far what I've seen, Itula is leading, but that is not a clear indication because there's so many other polling stations that have...
Which, by the way, is true for the other regions as well. I don't think they have tallied all the polling stations, even for the regions that they have started announcing.
Yeah.
There's still some... so those numbers might swing one way or the other.
Yeah, they could swing.
So... yeah, we're going to keep tracking them for as long as we're on air.
Yeah, so I think also people that are sharing the results, let me just be clear that this is what is there so far. I mean, I see how some people are posting them, like very, how do I say it? Very self-serving in how they are being posted. But that's not, guys. Don't do your followers or the people that are your friends on Facebook or whatever like a disservice. Even when you're sharing on WhatsApp, just like make sure that there is that proper breakdown.
And we did mention it earlier on because I mean in this day and age, everybody is sitting on their PCs and making things and posting it. So just before you start spreading information, before you start talking about stuff on social media, just make sure that your sources are credible. Remember, this is a very, very important process, and it's also something that can go south really quick. So we all have to be careful in the part that we play, especially now that the results are coming out.
Because you know what, and it's very true what you say, Cubase. For instance, Maria, I don't know, are there any specific results for Windhoek Rural yet? Because I got some results here for Windhoek Rural that I don't know if it's just fake news or...
That's the problem. It's so difficult to distinguish now. I mean, like
the only one that is quite... like, that's what I'm saying. When I see write-ups like that, like on your phone, okay, by the way, those that can't see, on his phone, it's like a write-up, right? I'm usually very skeptical of those.
Yeah.
Because what I want to see ultimately is the paper
Yeah.
that says that has an officer signing it off. There's an ECN stamp. Those anybody can access because they should be posted at all the polls. But those are the most credible ones. Well, apart from the ECN app. Or website, but that would be the most credible. The write-ups, I am very, very skeptical of, because anybody can change figures at any point.
Yeah.
And of course, speaking of credibility, yesterday during voting, there was so much news just going around. This one talking about somebody was allowed to vote twice. This one talking about this machine did this, and that machine counted more votes. And it's so confusing because you can't tell anymore what is real and what is just fake news, like you're saying, because all of these things are just all over the place. Literally every WhatsApp group you went in yesterday, there was some story about some EVM somewhere.
and it was bound to happen because of the skepticism that people went in with the EVMs going into the elections. There was a lot of skepticism, so this was bound to happen. I genuinely believe some reports were exaggerated. I mean, I saw a video of people walking away from the polls. We're not going to vote because the machine, there's a machine voting itself in the corner, whatever. I don't believe those reports because there's too many eyes.
Yeah.
For stuff like for even ECN to attempt something like that.
Like one person. It's impossible that just one person saw that and is the one that's making noise about it.
And we didn't see, because you would only see that if you got to the voting booth.
Yes.
And that guy didn't even show like at least credibility, say this is my thumb. I was in there, I was about to vote and I saw this. I think it's just somebody that sees two booths, he hears a sound in the corner, which by the way the thing is on the table that beep assumes something and blows it out of proportion. And obviously there are people that just blindly accept this information because obviously they want to believe there's something wrong with the EVMs, which there could be. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying like a lot of it is exaggerated, and that was always the danger yesterday. As for voting twice, that was actually a confirmed report. In the Angona region, somebody voted twice, but it was immediately picked up. So they were trying to rectify that situation with the assistance of the party representatives and ECN officials. So that was being resolved. That was in the Angona region. I don't know how far they took it. Hopefully ECN will give more information on that. And obviously there was another report of somebody that was pressed too hard, the machine, and it probably broke. It broke and they had to wait about 20 minutes for a new machine to be brought. So look, there were reports. We even had accurate reports of the verification equipment not working, and then as a result, like the process was very slow. And then broken EVMs, not functioning, whatever. These things will happen. But like I think also the reason we were picking those things up is because of this sort of transparency that is happening, because everybody has smartphones now, and they didn't stop you from using your smartphones at the polls. There was no point.
When we walked in, the officer told us to switch our phones off. I was like, can I put it on silent? No, switch it off. I'm like, but my side chicks, no.
Really? I was able to film them, even verifying my information, and nobody at any point said to me, you're not allowed to film. And I think that was the process. They said they're not going to stop anybody from doing that because they obviously want a transparent process.
Exactly.
That's so weird, because I thought like everybody was being asked to switch off their phones everywhere. So I'm wondering what the reasoning there in Kommersdal was for them asking for us to switch
the
off
officer, he asked me just before I went into the booth, because I was standing with my phone like this, and he told me, sorry sir, but you can't use your phone inside. So I just basically put my phone in my pocket, and he just allowed me. He didn't ask me to switch it off or whatever. I could have done anything with my phone inside the booth. So there wasn't really any restriction in that regard.
I wasn't told, but also I didn't have my phone on me going into the booth. I mean, I know I don't need my phone in the booth. I just, I had it in my bag, but I mean, the process leading up to going to the booth, like the verification process, them checking my thumbs, taking my finger, checking my whatever, all of that I filmed, and nobody stopped me.
But like even somebody else here saying no cell phones were allowed.
In the booth, I understand. Why would you? You wouldn't need it.
In the hall, as soon as we walked into the hall, as soon as the officer called us in, told us immediately to switch our phones off. And he was adamant. It's like, no. I'm like, can I put it on silent? And I remember clearly asking him. And he was like, no, not silent. Switch it off. And you know those uniform guys. Don't play.
Yeah, I think also this also goes back to like officials being given different information or being left to their own devices. And this can also be like, that skepticism, like, can you hack it with your phone? What? Let's rather be safe than sorry. And then obviously others that don't have those issues, obviously being more like relaxed about like I was at gymnasium. I even asked them, and they were very like transparent. As I'm in the line, I didn't introduce myself as a media person because I wasn't on duty necessarily. But I asked them, I was like, oh, were there any incidences here? They're like, no, everything's like, it's been smooth sailing for us.
Joshua Kluter saying, not all polls here in Tsumeb, we handed our phones to the officers.
Wow.
That's some crazy stuff.
So clearly. But the one thing that really stood out for me was the issue of somebody voting twice. I mean, it's good that it was picked up immediately. But it kind of shows that it is possible for something like that to happen on the machine.
Yeah, but Mr. Muyoro said it was here last time because it's not the first time. When we asked him about the incident in Oshakati, where somebody voted twice, and he said what had happened is like the official didn't register it and didn't know that the person, and then
issued another ballot,
issued another ballot, and that's how the person, but they picked it up, and I'm assuming that might have most likely been because they press a thing and then you go in and then when you're done you press result and then register. And if they're not paying attention to that, they'll just be like, I mean, if I say no, then I can you know, and then those things can. It's not a machine error; it's a human error. Let's distinguish.
I think the human funny occurrence also yesterday at our polls there in Elisenheim was that, and this has happened to me before. I would pay for something in the store, and I would walk out without my groceries. And
it happens to me all the time.
And the lady at the teller said, "Meneer, kom vat jou goed." Maria, this guy walked out of there without voting. He went through the whole process, and then he walked out. People said, "Etse, come, you must come and vote." So he came back and he voted. So, but I tell you, obviously, me being the conspiracy theorist, as I was standing there in the queue, you know, you have certain groups of people down the line, and you can clearly, and I was pointing them out, and people were just laughing, obviously. I said, okay, I can see this group sitting here. It's like a pro-hero group. I said, you guys are either voting PDM or Nudo. And they would just start laughing. And you just know it. Then you move to the next group, you know, okay, these guys come from the deep south. Very yellow people.
Yeah.
Abudi never LPM says Kwatikiri. You would go down the line, so I said, you just know where their vote is going, some of them. And the unconfirmed the results that you see here in Windhoek Rural obviously shows that Dr. Itula is leading, but I'm saying unconfirmed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unconfirmed, because like Maria say, anybody can obviously sit and type this down. So that remains to be seen. Yeah.
For me, it was easy because in the queue, let me tell you, you say, who are you voting for? If they are staunch Swapper supporters, like, Swapamos, yeah. And then you ask somebody else, for wie vote je? My vote is my secret.
Yeah.
Dan moet jy weet.
Itula.
Dan moet jy weet is Itula. Any my vote is my secret is an Itula vote. Believe it.
What did you guys think of the voter turnout in general?
Wow.
Amazing.
Maria,
I was checking like in the developed countries, like, you know, in Europe and in the States and stuff.
Sorry, I'm just showing a service unavailable. I've been for the past like 10 minutes. ECN, because I wanted to see those results. Their service is unavailable. I don't know if this is high volume or they're busy rigging. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They must answer. Why is your network off?
I'm just kidding. Probably like technical stuff.
Yeah, I know these things do happen. When I mean, I'm sure the ECN website doesn't get as much traffic as it's getting right now. So they're probably scrambling around trying to forget the EVMs. They're trying to figure out how to keep the website up and running.
Ek was nie in die studio gewees nie.
Anyway, like I was saying, Neville, in the developed world, so-called, like a 60% voter turnout or voter participation is considered a huge success. So how do you think? I mean, looking at some of the cues from around the country and in general, how do you think we did?
Cubase, I do think, and Maria, I was saying this to Cubase this morning, the level of vibrancy that we had yesterday, I think even to the run-up of the elections, was the same that I felt in '89 when I voted for the first time. People were extremely passionate about casting their vote.
I agree.
It's really, and it's the first time in a long time that once again I did see so many white people who decided we're not going to stand back anymore like we've done over the last 25 years. We're going to let ourselves hurt.
People are energized.
Yeah, people are very, very energized. And funny though that even here at the office last week, I still had to, obviously, for some of my white colleagues who didn't understand the modalities between a presidential election and the parliamentary election, to make them understand as to what the difference is, and there will be two voting booths. And and obviously, a lot of them don't know about any other candidates. They know about SWAPO, they know about PDM or PDM. And then Neville hierdie Itula mannetjie. Waar vanaf kom hy? So it was that element that we had for them, but then again it's good to see that they are part of it. And I saw a lot of white youth, like 18, 19-year-olds who were voting.
I saw them, at gymnasium there were plenty of them.
And I said to them, it's good that we have this because it keeps them in the country, and they're going to be the next generation that will help in developing this country, and not the apathy that you had for so many years, where they send their kids to South Africa and become part of the South African social setup.
It's funny that you should compare this election to '89 because that was also the last time power changed hands in this country.
Yeah. All
right, let's read some comments. Shaks Tiofe na Nyemba. At Lady Pohamba, we were allowed to use our phones. The officers were hungry for fish.
I think
and then a lot of fish emojis. Jealous stuff.
No, I think those residential areas, we were chilled.
Maria and the youth presidential advisor would make a good president and vice president so far. So fine.
Whoever wins, I'm here. I'm giving my services.
Kan vote in donker. Ons het klaar vote. Verstek my naar Fredo. Visa Black. Hey champs, Maria, if someday you choose to join politics and get to a point where you need votes, just know that you got my vote. And your whole family, please, because just you won't help. Always well researched and spot on, smart and on point.
I see.
Thank you.
She's blushing. Erasmus, wait, let me even look at her. I'm just saying she's blushing. I'm not even looking at her. Erasmus Shipwata, greetings from Morocco. What an eventful day that was yesterday. I was watching the elections unfolding yesterday, and I was impressed by the persistence of the Namibian people to withstand long queues and cast their votes. Whatever the outcome of the elections should be, at least Namibians are starting to really engage in the politics of Namibia going forward.
I loved it. The energy yesterday, oh my gosh. Beautiful, right?
The energy was just beautiful.
Come away, wait. Yeah, why is the website off? Edward Padula
story.
Mr. Muyoro compromised the democratic rights of the Namibian people. They were having 5 years to check up their EVM machines. Everywhere there was technical problems, hence nobody will trust those results of whoever wins because of those technicalities. Maybe let's not jump to conclusions.
Maybe let's go back to the ballot next time. Maybe we should.
I actually also think or at least have a paper trail with the machines.
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Hi guys. link for the app on the App Store. I see, who was this? Thomas Nekongo who posted it in the comments. Just go check, it is in there. And
I don't think for Apple. I was told, because I was trying to get the app for, apparently iStore doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was told, because I couldn't find it either. I've tried ECN, like the whole name, and elections NA. I've tried everything, and there's absolutely nothing on iStore.
ECN decided Netland is what iPhone said. And they don't care about the election results. I see a new country, guys. Yes, SARS. Okay.
Yeah.
Alex Williams once said one will go to jail if caught taking pictures at the polls. Hey, it was that deep, huh? Also, Bradley Kubisep saying phones were not allowed. When you see the Facebook Live of LPM page, as their media team probably tried to show the public how Swartboy was going about his voting, but immediately as they entered the hall, you can hear the officer stopping them from filming.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I think they just don't want the spectacle. Oh, by the way, speaking of, wasn't it beautiful how all the candidates brought their partners? Like, a lot of us were seeing it for the first time, and we were able to see, like, Bernardo Swartboy with his wife, Muti. We were able to see, obviously, Dr. Itula with his wife, Dr. Mackenzie. We obviously
Maria,
saw,
where is she from? Somebody kept on asking on the...
I think she's from the UK.
That's what I said, because I said, I was speculating, and I was saying that I think she's from the UK.
I think she's from the UK.
Okay.
And just by the way, on that, I didn't appreciate how people use that. You know, we really showed our xenophobia there and our like racial racism, because like eventually, for obviously the Itula supporters, they started playing the race card and the foreign nationality card, and it's like you can marry anybody you want.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing to do with her. He's a Namibian, and that's all we care about. Anyway, and then obviously we saw like First Lady all dolled up, Madam Monica Gengos. It was really, I don't know about, I didn't see Fernani McHenry, but possibly also came there with his wife. But it was just nice, like we're seeing so many of them coming to the polls with their partners. It was a beautiful moment.
Wouldn't it have been weird to see one of them rock up with a girl who's not their wife?
Well, if you're unmarried to your girlfriend.
I saw a video of Dr. Itula. I think one of the election officials told him to come through.
Yes, and he said, I'm not a VIP. Yeah.
I said, I'm not a VIP.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and wait.
Yeah, like because they did it to all the candidates.
Yeah.
I think obviously if your name is on the ballot, or on the EVM machine, whatever, or EVMs, because the machine. Anyway, you were obviously allowed to come to the front of the queue.
Yeah.
But understandable. It goes without saying, right? And homeboy, that's what I call it, homeboy. Homeboy was just like, nope, I'm gonna stand here. Even if it takes 4 hours, I'm not a VIP. I'll queue like everybody else. And obviously his wife, like happy chappy as well there.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna take my privileges where I get them.
Yes. So it's probably he's the only candidate who probably decided to queue up.
Yeah. It seems like it.
Phew.
Checking out some more comments. So we already have Maria for president, and now we have Cubase and Neville would make good ministers of justice and fisheries. Maar J Neville gaan Ministry of Fisheries van ons moet first vang asseblief. Tatio Castens, guys, I was wearing my blue, red and green bracelet. I had an umbrella. Those who came for shelter under my umbrella would see my bracelet. If the person sees it and move away, I knew that it repelled, or that I repelled that other one. Oh, so you let subliminals gastir any cues. I see. Awesome crew. You guys are entertaining and informative. Can't wait to see change. I love Maria, man. And you guys.
Who's that?
I love you too.
Who's that?
Valeria Kashinasha.
You guys have to make up your mind, because some days you love me, some days you hate me.
No.
You must be consistent.
There's always a love-hate relationship on this show. Come on. It must be.
But thanks for the love.
Yeah.
Kietman Swoop was very fine with cell phones. We switch it off, finish and klaar. Yeah. Okay, Diana, the klaar gelees. Now I need to move up. Come, Neville, say something there.
What is your story?
Terwyl ek tog haar comments soek.
Soek your comments.
It's only some constituencies within the regions that are tallied thus far, and not the whole region. Hardap, for example, has Marienthal urban constituencies.
Yeah.
Not for everyone. People working mostly in restaurants, service stations, retail shops, hospitals, etc., were not given a day off. They have to vote after work.
Yeah.
And mind you, the queues were long as EVMs were freezing.
That was very disappointing, by the way.
Yeah.
It's this capitalist system we are living in.
Guys, do you think in some way or the other the fish rot scandal that broke about almost 3 weeks ago now could have influenced voters in some way or the other, I think, in the last couple of weeks?
Of course it did.
Nee?
Hierdie ECN.
I
Hulle speel met ons.
I don't really think so.
Huh?
It did.
I think most of the people, maybe it compounded those who had already decided to withdraw their support from the ruling party. But I think most of the people who did not vote for the party were convinced before the fish rot scandal came out. That's just how I feel.
I feel the fish rot scandal itself, the saga, did not sway opinion itself. The kid glove sort of hands-off approach, sort of let them resign, the sort of let them stay on the National Assembly election. That, I think, definitely influenced a lot of the support. Because even when I was in the queue yesterday, I was speaking to, because like you're around people, you don't know each other, so you're able to speak to a stranger, because the likelihood is you'll never see each other again, so whatever.
Until they see you on Facebook.
Or even on the show, and they're like,
hey, I know
you
that
brought
girl."
me secrets, no. Anyway, but a lot of people I was talking to yesterday, they said, like, some of them came undecided to the poll. They were like, you know what, I really want to give it to Hage, but I'm not sure. And then we would discuss, like, what are your concerns and whatever. And people were just like, you know what, I don't like that he seems to be letting, and they seem to be letting them get away with it is, unfortunately, it translates to they think he's implicated.
Yeah.
That's why he's having a soft approach. They're like, they're even some like, I'm just repeating the comments. Obviously, it doesn't mean I agree with them. But that for sure, like, it would be silly to think that it doesn't actually, that it didn't have any effect on the voting electorate, because a lot of people were largely undecided, and also it did sway opinions. And that's why Sopo kept saying, why did you bring it up now? Now they understood that it had some bearing. That's why they kept. That's why they kept saying, you have an agenda. That's why you bring it up during the election time. You're trying to sway votes, whatever. Because even the ruling party understood that definitely they're losing support because of it.
Okay, I'll concede maybe a little bit it did sway, but I still feel like most people were already decided to go vote 49.
But what is very interesting, Maria, is the fact that, the numbers that you just gave now compared to what the figures were 5 years ago. I definitely didn't see this coming, that the drop
is
for the ruling party is so significant.
But the reason I'm getting irritated, as I was just before I got into this, the reason I was like, it's a ECN.
Yeah.
So I keep refreshing, obviously. Now the results that were there are all of a sudden not there anymore. And I tried to press on, for example, previously the Rongo, because I wanted to check the results there. And it said no results available. And I was like, what?
But there was no net Rongo
there
results.
was no net. Maybe not available because they're now putting them all together. But like, I'm just saying it's stuff like that. Like, I just think they should be smarter about how they post. Like, don't post everything at once, like per region. But here I'm looking, Sopo, for example, in Erongo, clearly leading. In Karas, LPM clearly leading. On what's on now. So like I really, for everybody that's trying to follow the elections and keep up, this is, I think, the most accurate you'll ever get it. Don't rely on secondary information, do yourselves all favors. Go to the elections.na or alternatively the app if you can get it, and rather just rely on information. Study them. Don't just get excited with the results or start already feeling a defeat for whatever party. Study them and try and understand. And if you're not sure, ask around. It's all about assessing the results so that you know.
Will we get any work done today in the offices around
This
the country?
is work. Lucky for me.
This
Yes, me very.
is work. Because I honestly don't see people really concentrating on what they do for the next 2 days.
They should have given us today off as well. No?
Toch nee,
Let
let's
us
just
just
consume.
digest everything.
Yeah, just digest everything and just do our own little postmortems, at least just for today, so we can come back to the office tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, because time is almost up. Nebel, you did bring up something when we were chatting earlier on before we came on the air, and that was, of course, the issue with the use of the national flag and the national colors by the by the independent presidential candidate.
Yeah.
IC, let's just call him an IC. By the IC, and it seemed to cause issues late on Tuesday.
Yeah, and guys, this is what my fear was, and I think it's something that we loosely discussed on Monday, is the fact that you have a national symbol as our flag that's basically used because this independent candidate could not use the SWAPO colors. So as an alternative, he used obviously the national flag. So my fear has always been that you will have your staunch SWAPO supporters who will start seeing the national flag as a symbol of apathy towards what they are doing. And then again, 24 hours before the election started, there was a decree or a statement from the Minister of
A silly one, might I add.
Yeah, from the Ministry of ICT saying that it is against the law to be using the national flag in this specific way.
But not really. Can I read it a little bit? And the reason I say not really is because not really. But anyway, it says the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology has noted with concern that there are members of the public who were observed using the national flag for political campaigns for the upcoming presidential National Assembly elections. This has created an impression amongst members of the public that the national flag, which is a national symbol, has a political connotation to political parties or individuals' political activities. Use of the Namibian national flag for political activities has a potential to cause confusion in terms of the nobility of the national flag as a representative national and unity symbol of all Namibians. Section 6 of the National Symbol Acts of the Republic of Namibia, Act number 17 of 2018 states, a person may not, without the prior written approval of the President or a person designated by the President for such purpose, use or display a national symbol or any depiction so closely resembling a national symbol in manners likely to cause confusion in connection with any trade, business, profession, or occupation, or in connection with any mark or description applied by him or her in relation to the goods made, produced, or sold by such person. Okay, and it goes on, but this is the thing. They're talking about designated for the purpose of here, they say business. I'm trying to... national symbol cause confusion for trade, for any trade, business, profession, or occupation. It doesn't say anything about rallies.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous.
Absolutely nothing about rallies. It's never been an issue to wear SWAPO, a national flag, a Namibian flag at a SWAPO rally.
Yeah.
Or at any rally.
Yeah.
It's never been an issue. The fact that they're trying to make it an issue and then quote an act that doesn't actually even show that is a problem is that's why I said it's silly. You cannot do that. So you're warning people without actually giving them.
Yeah.
I don't think he was counting on any of us to actually go and read the act that he was quoting.
Well, he quoted it for us, but it doesn't even say anything about politicking or even rallies. Like I said, it doesn't address rallies. It just says for business purposes.
But I think the issue here was not necessarily the use of the national flag. It was just who was using it.
Yeah.
It's
and that's the problem.
Yeah. All right. I actually do not see us going through a situation like this. Of course, this is officially the birth of the independent candidate in Namibian politics. Whether we like it or not, there's going to be others
Yeah.
Whether it's at national
just not through
elections
SWAPO.
or but a situation where somebody comes out of a party
Yeah.
and refuses to leave, and that whole debacle that we had, I don't think we're going to see that again. So
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have any more issues with the national flag.
It's obviously SWAPO going to do their little post-mortem.
Maak toe die
And
kraan.
Mark to the kraan. I'm telling you, the constitution will be amended
Yeah, for sure.
from Monday onwards. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't amend it before because just by the way, the Itula running as an IC, I heard it at least 6 months ago before he came out. And Swapo heard it 6 months ago before he officially announced his candidacy.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have kicked themselves into action and be like, this is coming. Or,
But
unless
they probably didn't see this as a threat in any which way.
Yeah, they didn't see that's the problem. They didn't see it as a threat and they didn't really see it as coming. They really undermined because at this point you need to remember he's going region for region trying to get people to co-sign.
Yeah.
He only needed 3,000 and he came with 23 or whatever.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Yes, the man just look, I know
So
I
walked.
only need.
He walked from
region to region. He only needed a certain number, but he decided, I'm an overachiever. I'm an A+ student. So I won't give you your C, I'll give you your A+.
you. Eish. Guys, I don't know what we're going to be saying tomorrow morning when we sit here.
Tomorrow morning
Well,
we'll have
today.
more results.
What? Okay. So, Shines, are we going to live stream now this afternoon at 4 o'clock?
Ons moet terugkom, my bro. Ons moet terugkom. We need to inform the nation.
Aye, we're going to be back tomorrow morning. But of course, the radio station is still live, so there might be a team in the afternoon. Might not necessarily be the three of us together. Might not be, or we might also be part of the team that goes on air just to discuss the elections a little
Why
bit.
don't
But
we live stream this afternoon?
We should. But look, there's a radio boss who is his boss.
Yes.
Not my boss or yours, but his boss. And he decides what happens
Yeah.
in the studio.
Let's. Yeah, I think it's maybe a discussion that we need to have with them
Yeah.
because I think it's
But we'll inform you if it's approved
Yeah.
or if they even want that.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Sharp.
We're
What
done.
are there still comments that you need to read quickly?
My guy, I've
My guy.
Yeah, our Shines has our camera person has duty. He needs
Yes.
to go to the court for the Saki Shangala, James Atwikulipi, and accused persons. They're appearing in court in the next few minutes, and he needs to go, and so that means we need to go.
Okay,
We
sharp.
will keep you also updated on that.
all right, it's please go and vote.
Mornings from 6 to 9, Monday to Friday.
The morning